But even with this pandemic, among the things that have bedeviled this government are corruption allegations, theft of monies. You have spoken on this issue before. You've called for a special audit, asked that we do not rush, to say that money was lost before an audit is conducted. But just the other day, the Auditor General presented a report before the Senate, indeed confirming that 2.3 billion shillings has been lost during this pandemic period. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Of course, I've said that corruption must be condemned wherever it rears its ugly face. And that I'd say that, look, let us wait for a professional audit. Remember that time, we are talking of hundreds of billions which were lost. Now you're telling me 2.3
billion according to the Auditors General.
Just look at the newspapers. Go back to what even look at your own stories in the electronic media. The kind of billions you're talking about. Where are those billions?
That was the Auditor General's report.
Because that's why I said, don't condemn people unheard. And I said, wherever we spoke and we have been speaking, it was always after a professional audit. The Goldenberg, the Auditor General, produced a report. The Anglo-Leasing, Kroll, produced a report. The Grand Regency Hotel, there was a report of Auditor General. The maize scandal, I appointed PricewaterhouseCoopers to carry out a professional audit, after which then I dismissed, I suspended the minister. So what I was asking for was not unusual, except that it was lost in the drown of condemnations. But now that report is out, people have to answer. In my view is that some people have to face the music. Some people were involved in graft and because this loss, because they have to pay for it.
As official opposition leader and a leader of with a very large following in the country, there has been concern that perhaps your style has changed as far as dealing with corruption. Many questions on where is the firm anti-corruption crusader, pressure piling, aggressive Raila Odinga when it comes to issues to do with corruption. Perhaps is it that the style has changed, or is it the relationship you have with the government now? What is different from the past Raila Odinga, who was a very firm crusader of corruption, anti-corruption rather?
Nothing has changed. What has changed is my communication with the government. That when I see things happening, I tell them straight away, do it this way, do it this way. Basically because we were in cooperation. But I don't shy away. I'm never silent when there is anything to do with corruption. I've always been steadfast, and that's the way I know how to do things. And any time anybody tries to smear my name with corruption, I've said that I'm as clean as cotton wool. So I know how the government operates. I've been a prime minister. See, when I was a prime minister, I was not criticizing the government. I was acting directly in government. So I never play politics with corruption. I speak out of facts. I have not changed. Sometimes my role changes, but I'm very consistent as far as family dealing with corruption.
So is that the same thing you will expect with this KEMSA scandal, that whoever will be mentioned, regardless of their position in government or political affiliation, that if they're in government, that they will step aside? Do you expect that?
Certainly. Certainly. Nobody should be bigger than the country. The country is much more important. But you can see, we're having a problem even with our own judiciary. You see, people are being taken to court but cases are tied in court. They're not moving. They go in there, and then they are knee out, they're given bail, and then they're out, and the cases are not being heard for years and years. When witnesses, some of them have died, you know, so we have a problem with our judiciary. I think that judiciary is actually unaccomplished in this war.
Would you say the judiciary then is the weak link in our criminal justice system as far as fighting corruption is concerned? Because this is one of the biggest issues that President Uhuru Kenyatta has had to deal with in his administration.